To thyself be true. Look, it's a tall task to quote Shakespeare before a poetry discussion and then expect the poet himself to live up to those words. But I think that Matthew Arnold pulls it off in Self Dependence. Welcome to Strip Coverlet, where we squeeze the bigger picture out of literature. I'm Adrian Ford, and we are here for another poetry discussion, which will appear, of course, in the poetry discussion playlist here on the channel, now racing towards 700 videos strong. The poem we will be discussing is Self-Dependence by Matthew Arnold, and it reads as such. Weary of myself and sick of asking what I am and what I ought to be, at this vessel's prow I stand, which bears me forwards, forwards, o'er the starlit sea, and a look of passionate desire over the sea and to the stars I send. Ye who from my childhood up have calm me, compose me to the end. Once more, I cried, ye stars, ye waters, on my heart your mighty charm renew. Still let me, as I gaze upon you, feel my soul becoming vast like you. From the intense, clear, star-sown vault of heaven, over the lit sea's unquiet way, in the rustling night air came the answer, wouldst thou be as these are, live as they, unaffrighted by the silence round them, undistracted by the sights they see? These demand not that the things without them yield them love, amusement, sympathy. And with joy the stars perform their shining, and the sea its long moon-silvered roll. For self-poised they live, nor pine with nothing, all the fever of some differing soul. Bounded by themselves, and unregardful in what state God's other works may be, in their own tasks, all their powers pouring, these attain the mighty life you see. O airborne voice, long since severely clear, a cry like thine in mine own heart I hear. Resolve to be thyself, and know that he who finds himself loses his misery. A call to stoicism, perhaps, but where we have to start is at the very beginning. Our speaker finds himself standing on the sea, in a boat standing on the sea, under the stars. The sea, often utilized to represent the subconscious. He is floating upon his own self-conscious, asking, what is he? Asking what he ought to be. Looking to the stars for guidance, the stars often used to represent fate itself, and pressing forwards over the starlit sea. Our speaker finds himself asking what he is, what should he be, where is he? He's choosing to be by himself, in his self-conscious, looking towards the fates, looking towards those things he might be, asking what he is, what should he be. There is a sense of growth happening in this poem. There is a longing to be more than he is in this poem. And he resolves that there should be change. He should be more. And he's asking to be like the sea and the stars, these constants, despite the fact that they are always evolving. They say you never stand in the same river twice, right? That water is always moving. Those stars twinkling, different every night. And the nature itself. So we know that this is not God with whom he is interacting, because the voice goes ahead and mentions God as someone else. So he's not having a religious vision here. He's having a vision of nature. He's not having an interaction with God. He's having an interaction with nature itself. And nature says, do you really want to be like the stars in the sea? The stars in the sea don't care what else is going on, in what state God's other works may be, in their own tasks, all their powers pouring. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. It doesn't matter how anyone else is doing. That's what nature is telling him. If you want to be like the ocean, if you want to be like the stars, the heavens, you have to be completely unyielding. Now, I don't think that this is saying you have to shut your heart off, but how can you help anyone else if you have not fortified your life? That's what the message here from nature is. And our speaker concludes, resolve to be thyself, and know that he who finds himself loses his memory, his misery. The speaker is saying, basically, that's the only way to be. Now that I am here getting this answer, I understand that this solitude is necessary. This struggle to be more is the struggle. This ever-changing struggle to be more is the only struggle there is. Without struggling to be more, without struggling to accomplish more, without struggling to embody more, without struggling to represent more, without struggling to accomplish more, to attain more powers than I have, no other struggle will matter. Is this true? I think yes. I think that the only way that we can help anyone else is to be fortified in our own life. The only way that we can rise above our circumstance is to become more, and only by rising above our individual circumstance can we help anyone else in their circumstance. There's been a lot of people in my life that want to help others, that want to help others raise their circumstance. And, if you're not in that place where you are able and accomplishing in your own life, your help can't go very far. Your the edifice which is you from someone else's point of view has to be pretty above standard for them to come to you for help, right? I think that in this poem we have a speaker who is searching when really begins the poem searching and comes to the understanding that the real struggle is not in the search. It is in the journey itself, or is not in something that we can find, but it is within something that we can do. We can keep doing. We can keep striving. I think our speaker comes to the realization that independence, self-dependence, is the starting point. This poem marks not the conclusion of our speaker's struggle. It represents the beginning point, where he realizes that only from this point forward, really, from this realization forward, can anything actually matter. Only from this point of realizing that he has to be true to himself can anything else grow. That is all I have for this poetry discussion. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, Hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, literature is the only thing I talk about on this channel. Dropping multiple videos every week, there's poetry every Monday, and I hope to have you back for the next one.